told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Yeah. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Yeah. Maybe I'm just too weak. Maybe I'm just afraid of being alone. Well, I don't care, 'cause right now I feel the love that we said we would burn. Oh, I know that you feel it too. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Stay till the morning light. Or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Yeah. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Yeah. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me.
Es que a ti te pienso tanto, no creo que solo sea amor. Por ti, baby, doy el mundo y la mitad en mi corazón. Baby, tú y yo, queriéndonos, sintiéndonos. Hazme el amor, y el que tanto dice tenerme. Hazme el amor, pa' que matemos la curiosidad. Tú sabes mejor que esos besos son los que dan suerte.
And I don't care if you think I'm pimping for Dave.
Yeah, te conozco poco y me provoca tanto cuando estamos en la cama. Esas ganas de hoy que nos tenemos no se dejan pa' mañana. Mi color favorito es verte, verte desnuda solita.
Be careful who you date.
Seguro si tú estás consciente que te adicto a querer de ti. Es que ya, baby, que
Everyone
se
should
pase
post
la
on your
noche
like.
contigo, vamos al 100. Hazme el amor, y el que tanto dice tenerme. Hazme el amor, pa' que matemos la curiosidad. Tú sabes mejor que esos besos son los que dan suerte. Hazme el amor, olvidarnos de nuestra realidad. Me dice que no la pruebe, que me gustará. Si no quiero algo serio, que no vaya más. Me tiene adictivo a ese mirar y esos labios, baby, que quiero besar. Tú eres como el deseo que tuve de niño y ahora ese sueño que ya es realidad. Los dos sabemos dónde va el camino
In a world with no production value, a man decided to recap The Bachelor. And now, available only on Patreon, you can see Vintage Dave.
Okay, hello. This is my first review of Bachelor Season 20 with Ben Higgins.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. And how's everyone doing? Welcome to week 3, the pre-show, the pre-Bachelorette live stream. How's everyone doing over there? That's right, baby Dave. You guys get the sneak peek at the trailer there. You know me, old movie star over here. Yeah, real perfect, Sarah. Good to see you. Ashley, Bruce is in the house. Who knew how valuable vintage Daves were going to be? Yeah, Davy Babies. They're called vintage Davy Babies, and you can buy them now, and they'll be worth as much as a Dogecoin in no time. Okay, folks. Hello. We've got week 3 pre-show live happening right now. Let's jam. I'm going to switch to some... I'm going to switch to some instrumental music, as you know I like to do. Romantic instrumental over here. What's everyone celebrating? Leave a comment. Let me know what you're doing today. If you're watching the live streams as you're plating up your charcuterie boards, or maybe getting your little wieners in a blanket. Maybe you're getting ready for some hot toddies. Whatever it is you got going on out there, let me know. Take a photo, post on your Instagram, tag me at DNeals right down there. I'll share it on my story. And of course, yeah, that's right. Patreon.com/Dave Neal has all of Vintage Dave happening right now. Shout out to our 319 members. You guys have been destroying it. Can't believe it. I weighed in on some things over there on the Patreon that I am not weighing in on in the public. Got to give them a little bit extra. Wanted to spend a special shout out to our friend Oliver here. Oh, you know what we should do? Let me find some sad music. We had someone unsubscribe from the channel. This warrants some sad music. Let me see if I can find some like real. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with sadness today that I report to you that Oliver unsubscribed from the channel. You are just as bad as the producers, spinning and manipulating the narratives. So over this style of commentary, Dave. Unsubscribed. Angel responded,
"You can't handle the truth."
Oliver said, actually, Dave is biased like he says. Truth is, Katie cheated on Blake Moynes with John Hersey. Blake confirmed on Nick's podcast, but Dave is protecting Katie and hiding that detail and any comments associated to Katie's awful character. And I said, we were so kind to Oliver, gave him so much attention, and yet in the end, I didn't need to block him. We'll be here if you come back, young Ollie. And then in the last 5 days, I have to report to you with happy music that there has been a change in tune. Ladies and gentlemen, Oliver's back. Insane how much Dave and Game of Roses are conflating Nick's Patreon with Katie's bullying rants. Katie doesn't ask for permission to post baloney on her guys. Nick had guests on and did a recap of his season. He didn't bring up a lot of BS for all of his Instagram followers to see and then bully those talked about. Katie did that, as you said. You didn't even watch the Patreon. You talk like you know what was said. So ignorant. Crazy how Dave seems to be running a smear campaign on Nick now. Lol. To insinuate that his old producer quit because Nick sucks is so petty. You come off jealous. Also, partying with Katie on the middle of defending her week over week is pretty bold. So obsessed. And I responded, thought you quit. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news, Oliver is back. So, shout out to Oliver for coming back to the channel. And that's been a live update here from the comment section of Bachelor Nation News. That's right, we're doing this all. Oh, Dave, how many producers do you have to run such a well-made program. Wow, we're just improvising. We're doing this all on the spot. So there it is, folks. Let's get to your comments there. Yeah, Angel made the highlight reel, absolutely. And look, all kidding aside, I don't mind Oliver. You know, sometimes I catch him when I'm hungry and I'll be angry and I'll be annoyed. But I don't mind. I mean, hey, I don't know who he is. He's got a cute dog there. There it is. All I can think of is, you know, what's that sign? More porridge. What's this sign? You know, what's that? The Oliver Twist quote? I'm probably messing it up. Anyway, so there it is, folks. Kelly Rubin says, if the thing you're not weighing in on in public related to a Bachelor Nation person who wasn't as relevant, do you think you and Bachelor Nation Scoops would have? Okay, so Kelly is saying, if there was someone... Hold on, let me get this straight, Kelly. And feel free to clarify. If the thing you're not weighing in on in public related to a Bachelor Nation person who wasn't as relevant, do you think you and Bachelor Nation Scoop would have? So I believe the question is response to somebody who may or may not have done something on their TikTok that would be considered morally repulsive. And the person I may or may not be talking about wasn't actually on the show. So my principle, which is subject to change, is that I don't comment on people that weren't on the TV show. Now, if someone wasn't on the TV show, but decided they wanted to talk about Katie Thurston, well, then it's part of the TV show, so then we'll discuss it. So so I think that might clear up my thoughts on all that. Jen says, hi, Dave. I've missed you this week. Missed you right back, Jen. Hope you're doing well. Blake confirmed. Yeah, Sarah said, Blake confirmed the opposite, that he doesn't think she cheated. Yeah, so when I went down the rabbit hole of, you know, here's a problem is, like, the thing that sort of frustrates me with comments like Oliver's is he does a lot of, by the way, is Oliver Nick Vile's uncle? I have no idea who this is. He does a lot of projecting. Crazy how Dave seems to be running a smear campaign. So he accuses me of slandering Nick. Slander is when you talk about somebody, about things that aren't true. All I've done is show his videos, show Katie's responses, Alana's, Blake Horstman. None of what I've shown is anything other than just factual information. I think I've actually probably, to be quite honest, been more protective of Nick than anyone else in Bachelor Nation. I'm constantly giving him credit for his style of sort of his way of staying relevant within the community, his way of profiting and, maintaining a business acumen with regards to commodifying his opinion, which is cynical. He'll tell you that. Maybe he won't. He's got a cynical opinion. Just about every one of my comedian friends do as well. He has a way of looking at scenarios where he goes, oh, Katie moved to San Diego to be with 5 guys. Okay. All right. She moved farther away from the guy she's going to get, that type of thing. So anyway, I've got no problem trying to be impeccable with my word. And I think I've done a pretty fair job of digesting it all. Yeah, I saw Katie on Thursday. To be quite honest, you guys know I wouldn't lie to you. I had tickets to go see Brighton, who's Cassie Randolph's boyfriend. I had tickets to see Brighton. Let me see if I can find a clip for you guys. I feel like I showed you guys this on Friday, but you might not have been around. So just give me a second to see if I can pull this up. And I actually didn't know there would be a big Bachelor audience there. I think for the most part, you guys understand I don't really try to dabble deep within the Bachelor community. I mean, I really don't. I don't go to any of their meet and greets. I just don't care. It's not really my place to be. Is this it? Oh, here it is. So let's see if I can get this into your timeline here. Give me 1 second, guys. If I just throw this right into here. All right, great. So this was live and recorded from my cell phone camera. I was the only idiot recording landscape mode. And this is Brighton performing his hit song Creep, which was written and lyrics are about Colton Underwood. And by the way, I have to say, just technically speaking, my cell phone, I was next to a loudspeaker, so my cell phone is not picking up the properly mixed audio. It sounded like musically speaking, it sounded super professional, but you'll hear I'm kind of picking up some sort of trebly mess here. You're a creep. It's a good song.
You can't stop thinking about my baby. What voice was yours in the world is changing.
Colton Underwood.
Gotta hope you get your thinking right.
GPS on the underside. Do you guys hear that? GPS on the underside. This is when Colton was accused of placing a tracking device underneath Cassie Randolph's trunk of her car.
Yes, on the underside. Told her everything would be just fine.
Bam.
I can't believe
Okay, I don't know what it's Brighton's a hunk, guys. Bachelor Nation is sleeping on Brighton. This guy's a hunk. Not only that, he's got great music. He did a 12-song set. He sweat through his clothes. He took his shirt. We're all chat. Yeah, so look. So I guess Oliver went through my social media and saw that Katie's up there somewhere. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that they were coming because it was in Los Angeles. I had told Brighton I was going to go to his show. He's been wanting to come to a stand-up show. So I told him I was going to go to his show. And then when I found out Tasha had to work early Friday morning. So I was like, all right, even though Tasha can't come to his show, I still want to make it happen. And at that point, Tasha actually, her job Friday morning got canceled. So she was able to come to this show. So here's Brighton kind of running. I think it was his last song. He was running through the crowd. And you might see Cassie Randolph in there. There's Cassie. There's Tasha. He's a rock star. He was fun to watch. So if you ever see Brighton, follow him on Instagram, and if he's ever in your town, go watch him perform. You'll get every penny's worth. The best part was seeing Cassie videotaping him with this old school camera. She was very sweet. And to be completely honest, I had to say, hey, Cassie, look, because I've never met her before. I said, hey, you probably know I've covered a lot of videos about you, and I hope I'm not creeping you out. And she was like, absolutely not, whatever, But of course, it is a little weird. And Ashley says Dave can also have a bias if he wants to. Oh yeah, I mean, look, I can't deny a bias towards Katie, but I'm also a huge Blake Moynes fan, big time Blake Moynes fan, fan of both of them, and a lot of other people. You gotta realize they made it onto national TV, not just because they're a cute face. A lot of them have great personalities. A lot of them have great stories. Not everybody, but they made it through tens of thousands of people that got cast on the show. So when you meet them, you go, oh, this person's actually pretty sweet. It's because they, in some cases have been vetted. Urmo says, what's in your coffee cup? This is... I'm drinking Four Sigma. It's not a sponsor. I wish it were. I'm drinking Four Sigmatic coffee. It's got mushroom in it. Not psychedelic mushroom, but it's good for the brain. And lion's mane, I think it's called. And then I've got coconut cream. And that's just that. Nothing else. Nothing fancy in there. Before I forget, let's put the clock countdown on. And Kelly Rubin, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. I am not avoiding you. We are just running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. So let's do a countdown to 4:58 p.m., which is in 41 minutes. So that'll be our countdown for tonight's episode. We'll play some clips. We'll get into some other things there. We got a lot to talk about. So anyhow, a lot of good stuff going on. So Kelly said, let's go back to Kelly. No one is addressing it. The thing that I haven't spoken about, and Bachelor People's partners have been talked about before in platforms like the other commentator Instagrams. So I am in no way dodging anything. I believe, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking about Nick Viall's girlfriend, Natalie, and what happened over the weekend with her. I've made this clear from when she was accused of stealing or copying someone's birthday card, Instagram birthday status, whatever. That I'm just, look, hey, I've drawn the line around what I talk about. I didn't cover Jess, Ben Higgins' now wife, when she had a antebellum party scandal. This is just me. Everyone's got their own thing. But once in a while we'll see, hey, so-and-so's dad voted Republican. Hey, maybe on a slow news day. You know what I mean, Kelly? So while I could monetize and profit off of a racially motivated topic, I choose not to involve people that aren't on the show. And you, as an audience, can decide not to support people if you feel like they're not addressing it. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about Nick. Now, if someone decided they didn't want to support me, I'm not saying you're doing this, Kelly, but if someone decided they didn't want to support me for drawing a line on which content I talk about, look, I mean, regardless of what people think about Natalie, Nick's girlfriend, morally speaking, I don't think it's a fair thing to pile on to people that weren't on the show. At least that's where I'm coming from. Now, obviously, there's a threshold where if someone does something so egregious, like some wild PPP scandal or something, okay, we'll talk about that. But then again, then you go, well, is this egregious and that's not egregious? It can be like so many different things. So I did address it today on my Patreon. And I've just made a decision that that's not something. Now, if you want to call in, let's get to the voicemail line and state your case. You can call in 401-213-9828. Let me make some room over here. So 401-213-9828. Feel free to call in if you think that there's a Kelly said, yeah, they didn't touch this because they're scared. Well, it's interesting. You know, there was obviously a Reddit thread that went up on the weekend that was taken down immediately because it had no evidence towards the accusations. But I don't know. It's definitely something, I guess, if he sort of addressed it on his podcast tomorrow, then maybe we would cover it. Maybe then if he addresses it, we cover it. If it's introduced that way, I'd have to kind of go through what I think my moral sort of standard should be there. I don't personally have any sort of moral high ground with it. It's like, look, just because something's salacious doesn't mean I bend my rules for it. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Let's go to some voicemails and hear what you guys have to say. Let's see if anyone's called in. Actually, I just opened the voicemail line. Let's see who is this from. Let's just have a listen. This might be a few days old.
Calling from Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus.
This is Sonia. I missed the earlier taping or watching that earlier version, so I rewatched it, and now I finished it for the West Coast, I guess. But I do have some questions. So, why did they bring out champagne glasses, but then when they went to toast, they were empty? That was weird.
There's a question as why the show did champagne toast that were empty. I'm not sure if they're allowed and I could be wrong here. I'm not sure if they're allowed to drink alcohol on camera. And that might just be for preview purposes, and I could be wrong there. But they might not be allowed to do that. I tell you what, let's bounce over and watch a couple. This will help me catch up on a few things here, but let's catch a couple previews of tonight's episode. Here we go.
Zach, this is Karamo.
How are you doing? Well, nice to meet you.
He is one of my favorite TV stars. You might know him from Queer Eye.
I've been rooting for Rachel because she deserves love. Tonight is a big, special VIP movie night for them. I cannot wait to see them strut their stuff on the red carpet.
Wow. She was looking stunning. This all feels like a dream, to be honest.
Wait, are we sitting there?
What?
I hope this is the beginning of your love story. Enjoy the movie, Karamo.
I can't wait.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Coming up tonight on The Bachelorette. Okay, there's so much I'm trying to address. I'm trying to walk and chew gum at the same time and get into all of your comments. And it seems like most people think I'm relatively fair with regards to Nick. I mean, look, he called Chris Conran a bunch of nobodies, so we make a video about it. That's pretty much it. I actually, when I was listening to Game of Roses here, explain what they thought about all it, I thought they dig in way deeper. I don't have any beef with Nick. I think he sees Well, let's put it this way. There's a hierarchy that exists, whether I like it or not. I'm on a sort of, if we're all on the Titanic, the verified people are like drinking their champagne on the top floor. The Bachelor Talking It Out podcast, the Madison Pruitt, they're all up there, and I'm with the Irish people doing the Irish step dance on the lower level, having the time of my life. We're not verified. Nothing about my channel exists because the show wanted it to. Does that make sense? It exists from years of people enjoying, or at least, liking the white noise of my takes. So I appreciate all that. But do I think, Nick or some other podcasts appreciate what we do? Maybe to an extent, but I don't think they see us as any sort of serious commentary, which is fine too. I don't have any bitterness towards that. I'm not in the in crowd. I don't get the episodes ahead of time. I have to download, bootleg them like the rest of the people. It's very, very much, a one-man crew. I don't have 3 producers. I don't even have sponsors. I make my money from YouTube ad revenue. That's about as basic as it gets, which is all totally fine. It's totally fine. Take this time, if you're around, to leave a voicemail, 401-213-9828.
Dave, it's Kelly Rubin. This is so exciting.
Oh, good. Kelly's calling in. So Kelly asked why I wouldn't address well, let's just hear what she has to say.
I never talk or engage on social media so much, or get into any of this stuff with anything except the Bachelor franchise, because it's just so reflective of what's happening in the world right now. For me, coming from a background of working in organizational culture, leadership development, what's fascinating and what I was kind of getting at in my questions was the more power someone has, the more they can silence people, whether they're doing it explicitly or not. And so I love how you have explained your approach to what happened this weekend, even before you're addressing my comment today. I think you provide really thoughtful and intellectually sound perspectives on things that are really useful to audiences, whatever their perspective. And more what I was trying to get at is, and I joined the Patreon because I did want to hear more of yours.
Oh, thank you.
What I'm more thinking about is some of these other commentating Instagram accounts, not Bachelor of Roses, Game of Roses, of course, because they're perfect. Mona Lisa, like you said. But there's a lot of other reality commentators out there who I think, if the person in question was more of a Bachelor B-list person's partner, they would be commenting on it based on their framework that they use, unlike yours, which they have commented on partner stuff before. And I think the reason they're not is because the impact of someone who has so much power, it happens in organizations, it happens in politics. And for people trying to democratize in organizations, as an example, which is my background, it really stands out when you have that vacuum. Anyways, thanks for walking us through things and being transparent about your framework without actually bending your framework, like you said. I think that's awesome.
Of course. Thank you so much. Is that the end? Thank you so much for the call, Kelly Rubin. Yeah, so I'll say this about people like Bachelor Nation Scoop and the Bachelor or some of these other accounts. First of all, I love what they do. They do so much work. The fact that they're probably not really taking any money for their work is wild. I think that anonymous accounts have it much easier to call out BS when they see it. If I call out BS, I have people that start looking at me. I've gotten put on lists, where I'm talking about subjects, and other people that are on the same list are getting swatted. I'm talking people that have had the FBI called on their house, and that's wild, and that's dangerous. And people can die and have died over stuff like that. Literally, a guy died, I think, in the Midwest, maybe in Ohio or Texas. A kid died last week because the FBI threw smoke bombs into the wrong house, and it lit the house on fire. It's a horrible story. I don't mean to bring the mood down. But the point being, there's some heavy stuff that goes on out there if you disagree with someone else's point of view, especially if people can find out where you live. And people can find out where I live, and they have. And I've had to reconsider some of the way I do things. Now, with that said, nothing in the Bachelor Nation has been that serious with me yet. But, you know, there are concerted efforts to take people down within different communities in The Bachelor. I mean, it's just like any sort of a Mean Girl club. You know, there's different social circles. There's the San Diego crew. There's the OGs. There's the Bible thumper. There's people all over from the community. And there's this like weird Game of Roses style power struggle that exists out there. I'm not making it up. So part of that is me going, let me put it this way. Have I regretted making certain videos? Absolutely. There's videos where I hit the red button on it and I go, is this it? Is this the one? And you have to take yourself back and say, am I getting too excited to make this content? If I'm getting too excited to make content, is it too salacious? How do I see the other side of this? So with regards to the video in question over the weekend, I'm looking at it right now here. People, did somebody lip sync something or did they not? This isn't even someone who's been on the show. So I'll get nothing, but I'll be on the wrong side of someone's opinion if I cover it. And also, it's out of the scope of what we do here. But that doesn't mean people can't. Look, if you don't like the way someone's doing something, let it be known with your voice, your follow, this and that. Absolutely. But to answer the question on, do I think some accounts get silenced? Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Some accounts would be intimidated to report on certain topics. I wouldn't say I've done that. I mean, if you look at my track record, we've reported from top down on some heavy, heavy stuff. And I'm not doing it from any place of judgment. We're just having conversations.
Hi, Gabe. It's Sarah. I'm from Wheaton, Illinois. I just wanted to ask you what your opinions are on Tino and Rachel. I love him, so I just wanted to know your opinion.
Thank you so much. Sarah from Wheaton, Illinois. Tino, look, I don't have much of an opinion yet. I don't know. I kind of like don't develop feelings for people until, week 5, week 6. You know what I mean? So, as far as like, does so-and-so look like they're right for someone else? It's hard to say, but so far so good. So far, so good. Let's go to play some more previews of tonight's episode.
Tonight,
It's our journey.
the power's in their hands.
This week will help us figure out who we should pursue relationships with.
But is it slipping through their fingers?
A little bit more rough around the edges.
Will you accept this rose?
I'm sorry, I'm here for Gabby.
I am going to have to decline the rose.
If this continues to go down this path, you are not going to find love.
If we don't make a change, it could end in a disaster.
Coming up tonight, streaming on Hulu. That's right. Kelly says, yes, hierarchy. Those are the dynamics this whole situation reveals that are fascinating. Yeah, and what you're noticing with regards to the Katie-Nick scenario, Katie says 45 seconds of, I blocked Nick. Then Nick and Natalie released these text messages and come off, in my opinion, not well. That opinion has been shared by many people. People that I have no manipulation over. I'm talking like people like Blake Horstman. He's had a beef with Nick for a long time. So has Alana and Chris. The way that they've been spoken to as quote unquote two nobodies, talking about Chris and Chasen. So, over time, if you're going to talk about the show with a large platform and have a sort of sinister or at least cynical look on things, you're gonna rub people the wrong way, mischaracterize people. Being tough on Clayton Underwood, Colton Eckhart, one of those people. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, voicemail line is open 401-213-9828 401-213-9828. Feel free to call in. Now is your shot.
Hey, Dave, this is Leah calling in from New York.
Hi, Leah.
First of all, I just want to say how much I love your YouTube channel, and I'm watching your pre-show chat right now, and it's funny because I always watch your videos in time and a half, like after the fact, and so it sounds like you're talking extremely, extremely slowly. But I just wanted to say that I know there's been a lot of judgment around these two bachelorettes and pitting them against each other, but I think they're doing a great job so far. I've not even watched the previews because I don't want any spoilers, and I think that they have a very honest friendship. So I just hope that this sort of, scrutiny over whether or not it's a good idea isn't overshadowing the fact that they really do seem to support each other, and I think we should pay more attention to that. Thanks for everything.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Leah from New York. Sorry, I'm speaking so slow. You know, I'm always trying to tell myself to speak slower because I think I speak so fast. So I'd love to know what I sound like in time and a half. Hey, here it is. Hit the Patreon, patreon.com/David. So anyway, yeah, look, it's funny to me because here's the deal, right? 92% of you guys are women for the most part, as far as my YouTube demographics tell me. And I think it's easy to have sort of empathy for people that look like you. So when a guy does something like Clayton or Greg Grippo, oh my gosh, he's the worst. He's using this F-boy energy and he's manipulating people and he's coercive or whatever, all these terms. It's like they see it from a place where they've been scorned by a guy that looks or sounds like that. Whereas I see it from like, hey, I've been on the football team with a guy that looks like Clayton. I think he means well, you know, like that type of thing. Now, does that make me an apologist? I don't think so. Now, when I covered the story of Nate and Michelle this week, I actually noticed way more negative comments than I thought I would get. Maybe I can pull that up. Not you know, it's not worth pulling it up, but not necessarily unfounded comments, but people were really upset that in this video about Nate that I wasn't giving enough grace to how Michelle might be feeling. And it's like, okay, I'll explore that. I'm not going to immediately be like, I'm so sorry. I'll think about it. And I have, and I've thought a lot about it. And I don't necessarily change the reporting of my story. But if you look here, Nate moves to LA. You know, I make this video, oh, Nate's moving to LA with his buddy Rodney. Look, what am I not going to make this video about Nate moving to LA? Michelle's clearly heartbroken. I've been nothing but really supportive of Michelle as far as I know.
Hello, everybody.
So
Happy
let's
Saturday.
just go to some comments here and see if there's anything that was critical, because, you know, we much prefer critical comments here. Really need to make time. Maybe I need to go through this in a second here. You know, because I mean, I have to say most comments are always nice. Relationships can be suffocating when people aren't as ready for them as they thought they were. As bad as I feel for Nate and Michelle, I'm glad they broke up now rather than later. Like, look, yeah, maybe Nate. Someone's commented that I was only nice about Nate because he reached out to me. Well, I've spoken to Michelle too, and I think I've been very nice to Michelle. Let me play this next voicemail, and then I'll read some comments.
Hey Dave, it's Cece here from Southern California. This is the first time I'm calling, but hopefully not the last. Thank you so much for your coverage with everything Bachelor related. It's honestly such a refreshing take to hear both sides, to hear the good and the bad and all of that. Like, why are we still talking about this whole like Katie and Nick thing though? Not because of, you know, but like why is this still happening? Like, why don't people just let it go? Anyways, love your coverage and your take on it. Thank you for always keeping this communication line open. I hope you have a great week. Yeah, take care, everybody. Enjoy the stream tonight.
Thank you so much for the call, Cece in Southern California. I appreciate it. I love that these chain of communications are open. Now, early in the season of Rachel and Gabby, we don't have much to talk about. What do you think of Tino? I don't know. What do you think of Logan? What do you think? I don't know, guys. There isn't too much to talk about. But here in this video with Nate, so I'm okay reading like criticism if it's like in any sort of good faith. The bias is palpable in the Nate content. And again, you repeatedly chose to miss the point of why people are upset with Nate. Nobody cares about who he hates or that he broke up with Michelle. His actions are shoddy and contrived. Minnesota is not LA, but nobody forced Nate to say he's moving to Minnesota. Clout Brain made him say that in a long laundry list of things. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I have to rewatch my own video to be like, I don't know. Priya Rose, I'm so disappointed by this video. I don't know quite how to express it. Points to consider. You expressed zero empathy for Michelle in concern for her situation. Well, and by the way, I mean, look, you know, if you're going to just jump on one video and you think I don't have empathy for Michelle, then you haven't watched the 15 videos that I've made talking about all of the ways in which I'm rooting her on. You miss facts and events on this timeline about claims he had made recently. Him blindsiding her, him doing it over the phone immediately after seeing her for her birthday. I haven't heard anything about him doing it over the phone. There's plenty more if you care to include them. You did not devote the same attention to detail and nuance you do in your Katie, Nick, Blake videos. Well, here's the deal. The Katie, Nick, Blake videos are all public domain information that's out there. I don't know what happened between Nate and Michelle. Maybe he blindsided her, maybe he didn't. Caitlin Bristow said she felt like Michelle was blindsided, but I don't know that. It's a relationship that lasted several months and then no longer, you know what I mean? So if I don't give these relationships this sort of energy that you would a normal relationship that made it to an engagement, because I don't believe these relationships are traditional engagements. I believe an engagement on The Bachelor is just like giving someone your promise ring. It's just, that's what it is. It only works 4% of the time. So like, sorry guys, I have to miss a lot of your comments to go back to the up-to-date one. So if anyone said anything I did not address, feel free to leave it again. Liz Pierce with a super sticker, $5. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the super chat. And everyone else that's in the chat right now. So anyway, I'm glad to read people's criticism. I like your channel because you always show empathy and respect for those involved. Even when I don't agree, you take care in your videos. You show zero concern or care for Michelle in this video. It speaks to your priorities. You and Nate both seem to not prioritize her feelings. You don't owe that to her, but he did. Well, you're damn right I don't owe anything to Michelle. But I just find this to be, interesting. If you think my videos are pretty well done, if you think I show a pretty good amount of empathy and respect, then cut me some slack on one where you disagree. She said, you act like everyone is fake and playing the game when it's clear by her reaction Michelle is not the standard Bachelor Nation person. So am I supposed to treat Michelle differently than everyone else who's been on the show? It sucks. I was bummed when Katie and Blake broke up. I was bummed when Katie and John broke up. I was bummed when Tayshia and Zach broke up. I really liked them. Claire and Dale could care less. Oh, guys, come on. So we can't watch it and just cherry pick and project what Michelle's feeling. Yeah, she's probably pretty bummed out. She was also bummed out and stressed about her job. She's bummed about a lot of things, but let's not put thoughts and feelings into her that we don't possibly know about. Feel free to leave a voicemail, guys. 401. Oh, this music's terrible. I still think the best segment was the beginning when I played the Oliver music. Are you guys ready? Okay, there's 300 people in the chat. Can I play for you guys my trailer one more time? I'm going to play for you guys because a lot of you didn't get to see the beginning. Here's my trailer for Vintage Dave. Check this out.
In a world with no production value, a man decided to recap The Bachelor. And now, available only on Patreon, you can see Vintage Dave.
Okay, hello. This is my first review of Bachelor Season 20 with Ben Higgins.
All right, so there it is. That's okay. If you didn't catch it earlier, there it is. Oh, Natalie's got a super chat somewhere in there. So, Dave, you're spending too much time defending yourself when people have to put bullet points on their complaints. All right, so Jane says, if someone has to put a bullet point on their complaints, well, listen, honestly, the live stream for me is the perfect place to have these discussions when there isn't too much else to talk about. So I'm not avoiding any larger conversations here. There just isn't much else going on. But again, I respect these comments. Absolutely. They're watching it from a place where they're feeling like there's this energy that I'm not giving Michelle. And I'm just saying, look, I might have had a silly video about Nate and Rodney, but that's where my energy was at in the moment. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, coming to LA, the type of thing. Look, I don't know what's going on with him, Deandra. My belief is that there's absolutely nothing going on between them, and people in Bachelor Nation are trying to make content or make some thoughts where there isn't any. But, I don't know. I don't know, guys. But I think it would be an insulting to Michelle to sort of coddle her in a way that we're not coddling other people. I think she'd be perfectly fine with the coverage and the content that we've provided here. All right. Let's go to some comments here. Natalie. Oh, Natalie with a 20 Canadian dollar super chat. Thank you so much, Natalie. Says you are amazing. Appreciate you, Natalie, as always. Vintage Dave. Yeah, so if anyone wants, Vintage Dave can go be found at patreon.com/Dave Neal. I took the first 6 episodes of this first season I ever covered, and I just made a little edit. And maybe when we hit like 350 or subscribers, I'll do a part 2, and I'll do... I have Ben Hagen season, JoJo season. I have all these seasons of content that a lot of people have never seen, so we could check that out. Petra says, Babyface Dave. That's right. Vintage Dave. I was only 30 years young back then. Okay, trying to get to your comments. There seems to be a decent amount of people in the chat right now. We've got 14 minutes before the next episode. Let's take a second to plug... well, I will tell you this. If anyone wants more of my behind-the-scenes content from the Bahamas, that'll be on my fiance's page, on Tasha's page there, where we've got some of the shots that I took here in the Bahamas. So there's some drone shots we took. There we are. You know, while we were power recapping, we were also power sunbathing. So I'm still recovering from the unlimited Bahamas Mamas. So those videos are all on Tasha's page. Best thing you can do to help out that channel is to watch them, comment, like them, and all that jazz. I know a lot of you guys do. And here's a drone shot that I took. Pretty nice, right? You can see the drones in my hand right there. B-Bean said, when will you do a 24-hour live? After how many subscribers? Well, I always said I would do a 24-hour live if we get to 100,000 subscribers. That was the goal. Get to 100,000 subscribers. By the way, I shot this in 4K, 60 frames per second. How great is this quality content right there? Is that not the nicest video ever? Jane says Tasha's suit was hot. Yeah, I bought Tasha this bathing suit, and then I'm in the background there. She told me to get out of her shot. Whoops, my bad. And there I go. But anyway, I got it for the Bahamas, but she couldn't quite make it there. This is the venue we're going to be getting married at in about 80 plus days. So get excited for more of that content. We will have a private live stream. Well, I will record the wedding and air it for the Patreon. That is a guarantee. You will get a chance to be sitting front row at the wedding. My thought was originally to live stream it, and now I'm thinking rather than live stream it, we're going to shoot it in its entirety and then air it the following day or 2 days, whenever, upload speeds can be tough. And Petra says, guys, what about Tasha's bikini? We just talked about it. Sarah says, these drone shots are awesome. Oh yeah, great drone shots here. Here's the one I took. I'm going to show you guys right now behind my screen here. This is just a drone photograph that we took right there. Not too bad, right guys? That's pretty good looking drone shot right there. Hold on, let's see if we can go. Do I have another angle that we can get to? I guess that's it. Is this one right there? Yeah, there's the angle. Oh, there it is. So anyway, 80 plus days to Dave Neal and Tasha's wedding. That's right. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I mean, we've been together for a very long time. We got engaged right before the pandemic, and I'm very much looking forward to tying the knot. Very much looking forward to that, which is interesting because we have a YouTube channel dedicated to watching strangers tie the knot or find love or all that, and it's not lost on me how lucky I've been. And Tasha too. We've been lucky to find each other, lean on each other, talk about each other's, issues and overcome each other, because it's one thing to know. I feel like in a relationship, the first thing you always do, it's like you always realize what's wrong about the other person first. You're like, it's so easy to learn the other person's triggers, but then eventually you learn, okay, here are my triggers. Here's where I mess up. Here's where I need to create more space for this. One thing we probably don't get much of in Bachelor Nation is I don't think we get enough about people talking about I don't think we get enough about people discussing their love languages, but even their love languages, more so like understanding the limbic system and understanding how we react to stimuli doesn't always line up with how we react to love. So you can love somebody, but you can still have a trigger from your childhood or some sort of genetic trigger or whatever that puts you in a place that's fight or flight, and you might be on the worst version of yourself. Look at Claire Crowley, right? She's obviously got trigger system flares. She's got either an introverted or ADHD or whatever she has. I'm not a mental health expert. That makes her get really stressed over certain issues. And then a guy who might interpret that as she doesn't like me, when in fact what we need to learn in a partnership is to have more grace for the ugly side of what our partner brings, just as they need to have more grace for us. You know, they need to, our partners. So I know some people go, oh, that sounds codependent to like let your partner off the hook. And I'm like, listen, you got to work with what you're given. And we've all got triggers. We've all got things that make us, you know, that could wreck our day. And we need to look at those. Why is my heart rate going through the roof? Why am I being an asshole? What's going on? How can I change my environment? Now, eating right. How can I not making decisions when you're full of stress? How can you do all of these things to bring your best self to the conversation? In a relationship makes you work on that. Whereas if you're single, you just might not be exposed, which is fine. Being single is fine, but you might not be exposed and challenged to think a different way. Tasha's a self-proclaimed highly sensitive person. She, certain things affect her in ways I wouldn't think of. Smells, sights, sounds, brightness on the TV at night. Certain things. Just, I get to walk through life just like a bumbling idiot. And she's like, oh my gosh, that person next to us is chewing really loud. I wouldn't have noticed. You know what I mean? So we're all different. But being a highly sensitive person, genetically, maybe that's the person who can hear or smell. Why aren't the birds chirping? Is there a tsunami coming? I don't know. You know, there's different skills that exist throughout the world. So, I think, you know, if people are different personality types, that's fine. You know, as long as you like to hang out with each other, things like that. Sarah says, my husband and I were friends since middle school, never dated until our 20s, just celebrated 6 years of marriage. Hey, congrats on that, Sarah. Congrats. I see your husband there in your photo. Very cute. Franny's in the audience. Of course, Franny's a mental health expert here. So Franny's always, I actually texted Franny today. I was like, Franny, you do a good job of helping other people out, but just so you know, we're here for you. You know, therapists, psychologists, we got to make sure we got their backs too. Because Franny, you're no good if you're not putting that oxygen mask on first. Says, you are so right. Partners are reacting to triggers from previous experiences. It's so important to take time to get to know our partner. And as you said, have grace. Yeah, I finally got that book. Where is it? Finally bought this book. What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Oh, the green screen there. Now, to be quite honest, I don't really like it so far. In the book, she's like, we live in a world of 4 billion people. And I'm like, how old is this book? The world's doubled since she wrote this. Anyway, what people think of me as none of my business does not mean I can live by that every step of the way. And it doesn't mean I should ignore my partner's concerns or this or that. But, you know, what it does mean is like, if my partner or, if you're in a situation where your partner's got some sort of trigger, it's not your fault. It's just not your fault. And I would hope that I would learn and cope with whatever my triggers are so I don't continue to bring that same energy to the relationship. We're onions. We'll just keep, unearthing different layers and trying to get more evolved or not. Some people just aren't going to get evolved, and that's fine too. All right, I think we have one last voicemail.
Hey Dave, it's Alicia from Brooklyn. I just wanted to say I was watching your video earlier today, and I can't remember which one it was. Recent one. You were talking about how you love to eat raw cookie dough, and it just was reminding me how much I love it, and I'll buy like one of those vlogs, not cook a single part of it, just eat the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Raw cookie dough. Yeah, people like, oh, if I'm going through a breakup, I'm eating raw cookie dough. Breakup? If I'm going through a Monday, I'm eating raw cookie dough. Hey, Kim. Kim says, I miss when Dave would respond to the chat. Kim, I've been responding to the chat for 49 minutes. I'm doing nothing but responding to the chat. My eyes are hurting from responding to the chat here. Simplistic Grace, how are you? Beautiful YouTube photo you have there, icon photo, whatever that's called. Hey everyone, so excited for these men to get divided up. Is that going to happen today? Are we going to get... So let's see. Sometimes there's a last second video that goes up. So anyway, you know, I wasn't trying to comment on these Nate concerns like I'm losing sleep in the middle of the night. But, you know, hey, if multiple people think I'm not showing Michelle empathy, I'm all ears. I'm listening to it. My thought though is that I think I've, let's just try not to, because every video I made about, oh my gosh, if I'm covering a heavy subject and I make 7 videos, and on the 7th video I don't qualify every single feeling I've ever had. Dave, how come you feel this way? It's like, just read the course syllabus and get back to me. All right, so here we are. Are there any last second? When's this from? Oh, 18 weeks ago. Am I on the wrong page? Bachelorette ABC. Is this the one? Here it is. I think we got all of the previews. Let's see if there's any more. This is tonight. Let's watch this one.
The power's in their hands.
It's our journey.
But is it slipping through their fingers?
A little bit rough around the edges.
Will you accept this rose?
I'm sorry.
We can't do this anymore, and it's time for change.
Monday, the power's in their hands.
Right, so there it is. And I think we're done with voicemails. We are at 4 minutes left. I'm not lying. I'm sucking wind right now, so I'm going to play a song. I am sucking wind. I really am out of breath. I'll be back at 10 p.m. today. Do me a favor. Double check if you and confirm whether or not you're subscribed to this channel. I did say I will do it. I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream. I even said I'll try to rent out the Bachelor Mansion when we hit 100,000 subscribers. But to be quite honest, we have been very slow on the path the last few months. Obviously, it's been the off season, but very slow on the path. So we're only getting like 700 new subscribers a month. So I would definitely we need to hit that next gear. Simplistic Grace said, "Thank you for the compliment. You're absolutely you're welcome." Amy says, "Yeah, you don't want to have to worry about being on even more display at your wedding by live streaming it." Yeah, well, it was more about the buffering. Like, God forbid, I'm trying to live stream my wedding, and I'm like, they're like, "Do you take this, lady to be your wife?" And I'm like, "Is the thing buffering? Are we good?" So I'll just upload it the next day. And then we're going to have a professional film crew there. So trust me when I say, yeah, I'm going to be pimping the shit out of the wedding. There'll be parts to it you will not have access to. But there will be parts you do have access to.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Kim says, "Thank you for totally blowing off what I had to say. I'll show myself the door." All right. Kim, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to take the next minute to go through the entire I can't tell if you're joking or not, Kim. That's the problem. You said, "I miss when Dave would respond to the chat." And then let's see what you said before. "I wish you could understand what it is like to respond to as many people as possible." So Kim, what I'm doing now is I'm basically stalling the whole chat to prove a point that this is very challenging to do. So anyway, I don't see a previous comment from you, Kim. Again, I don't know if you're just kidding or not. You have to understand, guys, sometimes I just see your names and I don't even know who I'm talking to. I try my best to, recognize everyone's photos there. But anyway, it looks like I've gone back multiple minutes and I don't see, Kim, I don't see what you're commenting on, so I don't know if you're referencing me or somebody else. I'm not trying to be defensive, but just for this, just for the sake of letting you know that I'm not blowing off. Thank you for totally blowing off what I had to say. I'll show myself the door. I don't know what that means. Kim, elaborate. Oh, I like to do this when I don't understand what people are saying. Could you please elaborate? B-Bean says, "You will not live stream the wedding night, correct?" That is correct. I don't believe I'll be live streaming the wedding night. But I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll be pimping the wedding for sure.
I don't care if you think I'm pimping for Dave.
Trisha says she's leaving a voicemail. I'm not doing a West Coast live tonight. Down to our last 30 seconds here. I will be live. The voicemail line. Screen grab this right now and get the voicemail live. Get the voicemail line for tonight's episode. I've got a nice thin steak I'm making, and I'm going to slice it up and throw it over a nice bed of salad. That's what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. Natalie says, if you rent that mansion, I'm coming. All right, we'll see you there. Natalie, bring your massage table and help me out with this neck of mine. Got a massage therapist over here. Sarah says, Kim, I'm confused at the issue. He responds to as many comments as he can. I'm confused as well. Oh, by the way, all right, so we got to go here, but I'll save this for the 10 p.m. hour. But I've unbanned our friend that we banned last episode with the hat. I can't remember her name. She's unbanned. She apologized. She's part of the crowd. She'll be here at 10 p.m. On Wednesday tonight, and we will see you guys then. So I'll see you in 2 hours. And if anyone wants to leave me a comment, I'll try my best to get to all of them. But if I can't, I'll be passive-aggressive and let you know that I'm overwhelmed. All right, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
In a world with no production value, a man decided to recap The Bachelor. And now, available only on Patreon, you can see Vintage Dave.
Okay, hello. This is my first review of Bachelor Season 20 with Ben Higgins.
I don't care if you think I'm pimping for Dave. I would highly suggest going to Dave Neal's YouTube page.
You cut the crap.